right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well. All right, we're getting started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well. And get this pulled back up here. There we go. Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Feel free to read through this. All right, we're going to get rid of that. Pull this up like here. And should be good and ready to go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody hear me okay? Everybody see me okay? How's the video look? How's the audio sound? I'm on new internet. I want to make sure everything's sounding looking good. There's not lag or anything weird. Everything sounded okay? Looking okay? Hopefully. We're going to get going. Okay, so 3-day cycle. 3-day cycle is going to be very useful to anybody. It's really a way of looking at the market that really every trader should know about or understand, because this is how the market moves. It moves in threes, and it moves in this rhythmic 3-day motion, and it removes the need for you to really understand like when you try to do multi-time frame analysis, for example, it becomes very confusing because the monthly chart could be going up, but the daily chart could be going down, and the 4-hour could be going up, and the 1-hour could be going down, whatever, right? So, it can become very confusing, whereas the 3-day cycle, if you understand how the cycle works, you'll have a better understanding of how to trade it. So, hey, Sam, good morning. Good morning to all of you. Anson, Daly, Johan, good stuff. Good morning to you all. So the 3-day cycle, what is it? Well, back in the 50s, there was a guy named George Douglas Taylor that was in the pits, and he, in talking with the other pit traders and the larger institutional traders, he discovered that they were running the market into extremes on purpose in a rhythmic motion, and then shifting or moving it away on purpose because, well, they can. It really is still true to this day, and you can find it everywhere on the chart. So I'm going to show you what he was talking about then and how that can be kind of translated over to right now. So trading or putting price into an extreme. What is an extreme? An extreme could be a previous week's high, previous day's high. Could be maybe the high of the current week, the low of the current week. Those are extremes that, or levels that everybody is looking at. And whenever breakouts fail, that is where the cycle is going to begin. So let's say that this is the new week. This is a Monday. And this is the low of Friday. All right. So what if, and you'll see this a lot, where they break out of Monday's low, and then maybe that closed back up on the inside like this. This would be them running price into an extreme, and then that breakout failing, and that is going to restart the cycle, because this was also at the low of the current week, which is also an extreme. Now, on the next day, they might go up and run the high of Monday, and that might fail as well. And that is where I usually will start to look at certain types of templates, the 3-day cycle and whatnot. So let's get rid of all this. Now, what I want to do is I want to tell you all that the 3-day cycle, sometimes you will have more useful variations than others. Sometimes you will have times where the market is just trending higher and higher and higher and higher. And that is usually where I'm going to not be using the 3-day cycle as much, because it's not as useful to me. The market is just trending, and it's much simpler if I just identify that instead of saying, well, that's cycle day 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's cycle day 1, 2, and 3. That just doesn't make any sense. Whereas I can use the 3-day cycle to look for actual setups whenever, let's say, for example, we're in an up moving market. So maybe we've been in an up moving market throughout multiple weeks, or, it could be 3 or 4 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it may be. Maybe a new week has just began. And now let's say that after we've been going higher, we've been breaking out to the upside, Monday triggers Friday's low. So that would be a reset of the cycle at the low of the current week, which is also possibly, if you all have been listening to me for any amount of time, that could be a lower low structurally or within the market. That could be a lower low. And then whenever that happens, they tend to go back to the high for a retest. So this would be cycle day 1. And then on cycle day 2, which would be, Tuesday or Wednesday, it really doesn't matter which day of the week, you would have a market that maybe breaks out of Friday's high or Monday's high. And it might even succeed. It might close outside of Monday's high. And then on Wednesday, it might start making lower lows and lower highs and then go back to where that pump began, which is going to be that failed breakout from day 1 of the cycle. Does it present this exact way every single time? No, of course not. Sometimes this will be an inside bar. This could be an inside day on day 2 of the cycle. It could be presented as an inside day. Day 2 could be presented as a first red day. We have the lower low on day 1 of the cycle. And then day 2 of the cycle, we could come up and, where's the thing? There it is. They could have came up and closed maybe something like this. And in that case, I probably would have reset the cycle anyway, because day 1, day 2, and then looking at day 3. And that's okay, because on the third day now, we have this turns into a first red day trade instead of the 3-day cycle. But it doesn't really matter. If you understand how to look at it, it doesn't really matter what you're calling which day of what. It's just being capable of identifying the template. Okay, so day 1, day 2, maybe that presents as a first red day. Maybe it presents as a closed end breakout day. For the failure, basically the breakout fails on the following day and goes back down. So basically what this does is help you find good reversals. It can also help you find really good trending opportunities day 1, day 2. So if, let's say that maybe this doesn't fail. Maybe it doesn't start making lower lows and lower highs over here, and this is a reset instead. All right, this could be a reset of a trend. This could be our new peak formation to continue to go higher, for example. So I'll go back over here, and you would have day 1 of the cycle, just exactly how we've already seen. Yep, you're looking for peak formation day 1, day 2. So you get peak formation on day 1 of the cycle, and then maybe again, you could have different presentations of this, but maybe on day 2 of the cycle, you have a breakout day that closes in breakout. Now, when this happens, with the other examples too, where I could be looking for a reversal, I could be looking for a reversal on this day as well, but because the market only does 3 things, breakout, trend, reverse, or stay inside of a trading range, I've eliminated one. We're not in a trading range. We're in breakout to the upside. So I've eliminated one. I've got 1 in 2 chance of getting the correct option at this point. So it's either going to break out and trend, it's going to break out and reverse. So I'm going to look for evidence of one of those things. So right now, this would be like peak formation high on day 2 of the cycle. We'll draw this in. And now we're on day 3 of the cycle. On this third day, this is where you can look for maybe 3 levels of drop for the consolidation trend trade. On day 3, the expansion of the range. This turns into a bit of a rectangle in this case, where they build the box between previous day's high and the breakout level. They build that little box. You'll see that a lot of times. Sometimes, this could have not even done that. It could break out immediately on day 3 and then pull back something like this and then continue. And that is also a very good trade. So it can present a few different ways. There's a few different variations, and I have all of those listed out in a way that's in a lot of my videos as well. I've got it all in those slideshows and whatnot for you all. So make sure you're checking out my 3-day cycle videos. I've got a lot of template stuff on there. Front side, back side. Yep. Yeah, first red or first green day, day 1 or day 2 of the cycle. Uh, it could be on day 1 as well, Sam. First red or first green can also be on day 1. It really depends on how it presents. All right, good stuff. So I just wanted to show you all that, and I've got quite a few videos now on my channel about the 3-day cycle if that interests you. And I've got slideshows that are associated with that. Can you please explain? Sure. So you could have a down moving market, for example. I think we just saw this the other day. So we've been going down, okay? Maybe we forced a previous day's low and it failed. Let me do this. I'm not going to show you with this. I'm not going to show you with paint. I'm going to show you with a chart. Sam. So Sam's question is, we're talking about, which day of the cycle can first red or first green day present on? And he said it's always on day 2, but that's not necessarily true. It could be on day 1 of the cycle as well. For example, right? We're at the high of the current week here. We broke it out. It failed. And then this is a first red day going back down towards the low of last week. This is where the pump began back from over here on Friday. Notice how they triggered the low. This was day 1 of the cycle. And we get day 2, day 3 of the cycle, which continues to go higher and closed in breakout. The cycle has to restart day 1, day 2. At the close of this day, it was day 1. Day 1, day 2. Now, this reset, day 1, day 2, and then day 3, right? Day 1 was the first red. Day 2 is a lower low. Day 3 was the expansion of the range. Sam. This is all consolidation, garbage. Okay, so this was a first green day that turned into a trap in a down moving market. Didn't go anywhere. However, it's still a first green day, okay? It's a first green day that did not eventuate, it did not follow through, and that's okay. So you could have this is Friday, this is the low of the current week. They broke out, tried to go lower, couldn't. Okay, so this is day 1 of the cycle. They forced the low, closed above its open. This is a really nice first green day. And in fact, this is a very similar close to how things looked yesterday. I think I took a trade. Yeah, I took a trade on NASDAQ long yesterday. I originally took it short because of this exact thing. This is exactly what I thought it was turning into. So I tried to go short, got stopped out, and it started to go long. And I said, okay, thanks for confirming. First green day is a go. And I took that long and ended up 210 ticks. I took a 50 tick loss, and then I took a 265 tick win off that first green day trade. But here we go. So this is day 1 of the cycle here. First green day. Day 2 of the cycle opens up, and I'm looking for the follow through. But instead, we get Monday, which is the new day of the week. They force the extreme and fail. Day 2 of the cycle, which resets back to day 1. All right. Okay, good stuff. And I'd like to even go over that trade that I took yesterday. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think this was it. It was it. Okay, here's the NASDAQ. We had a day that opened. It opened in breakout too, which is pretty cool. So we got 3 sessions of breakout down. Yeah, Sam, we'll talk about it later. If you want to message me on Discord, feel free, of course, as always. We're in breakout down on Monday. Okay, tried to go lower. And then they closed it back up on the inside of Friday's range. And also closed above the opening price for the day. All right, so this could be a first green day. Get that put up there for you all. Monday was first green day. Monday was also day 1 of the 3-day cycle. Okay. I know that I'm not very good sometimes at putting this up there for you all because I'm going to be really honest. A lot of people get confused by the 3-day cycle, and I don't like doing that. I don't want to confuse people. I only want to help when I do these streams and when I do my videos. This is day 1 of the 3-day cycle. It's not day 1 of breakouts. It's not day 1 of this or day 1 of that. It's the 3-day cycle specifically. All right, and I always annotate that with 3DC. Okay, so I've got a first green day and day 1 of the 3-day cycle. And then yesterday, we've been in a down moving market. All right, we've been in breakout to the downside. We broke out and closed on Friday to the downside of a previous week's low. So I was concerned or worried that maybe this was a trap. All right, so we got a first green day. I projected the close across. And you can kind of see how we peaked. We touched the high, which could be a higher high for the continuation, which I was watching for. But then we broke down and we were sitting underneath of Monday's close. All right, we started to follow through. And that is why I was trying to go short, okay? That's why I was trying to go short. Excuse me, I've had the flu. I'm on the back side of it, though. So, I am not good at trading V-bottom reversals. I got stopped out for 50-plus ticks. Right over here. All right. No big deal. We got a V-bottom reversal. Peak formation. I know that's a peak formation because they came down. They engulfed. This is a down, up, down, engulfment. Okay. And then they started to continue to go higher over here. And I waited. I really wanted to make sure that this was a lower low failure and not a lower low, lower high, some kind of lower high variant where they're going to squeeze me out again and continue to go lower. I didn't want that to happen. So I'd rather pay for more information. I'm going to pay for a worse fill, but for more confidence. In this case, if it is a first green day trade, it should really be going, and I'm going to wait for evidence of that. So I waited a little bit, and right around here is where I started to really get interested, and I'll tell you why. There are people trapped long over here, okay? There are people that were trying to go long over here that were still holding on through this down move, and this is where they start letting those people out, all right? They start letting those people out of their positions, which should not happen. And now I just have to wait for a good entry signal. I need to wait for some kind of breakout in the market to go sideways and then continue to go vertical from that point. So we got the, not necessarily a breakout, but we're getting higher closes, which is technically a breakout. This is where the market started to go sideways up here. And we're 45 minutes into an hour, which is good. This is where we should see some kind of continuation or reversal if it were to present. When you're 45 minutes into an hour, that's usually a good place to enter a lot of times. Okay? Not every time. So we get another up close bar and an inside bar, and this is where I tried to get in. And I got in on a 1-minute chart after seeing the sideways, the breakout close higher and sideways. I'm using price action for my entry here. Okay, nothing complicated, nothing weird. This is that inside bar right here. And I just got in on the continuation. We got some down close bars making higher lows. They're trying to go lower. They can't. And then we get the follow through continuation that starts letting the longs back into profit. Good place to get in. Okay. Ended up taking this back up to and through the high of the day and a little bit more, which doesn't look like much. But it is. Market was pretty volatile yesterday. I'm not on a futures chart right now, but yeah, that was over 250 ticks. It's pretty good. Okay, that's one way. I took profit at the high of the day. Another thing that you could do or could have done, looking for expansions of the range. Okay, those are pretty good methods or ways of looking for targets and things like that. All right, good stuff. Let's get out of here. Hopefully that's a good explanation. I am not going to die down. Here we go. We need more caffeine. Let's get the first green day back in there because it all matters. What are we looking for today on Wednesday? It's all part of the story. That was first green day, day one of the cycle. Okay, yesterday. How did yesterday close? That's the most important question to me. How did yesterday close? How did it, was it a signal day? Yesterday was day 2 of the cycle. On day 2 of the cycle, what kind of close did we have? Well, we had a close-in breakout. What does that close-in breakout actually tell me? It tells me the market only does 3 things. The big players are involved, the big money, and that the market is only going to do 3 things. So I always project that level across, and then I will look at my current day to make it a determination on what am I looking for. So we have a peak formation high put in at the high of the current week, and we have now dumped it back down towards the low. All right, back down towards the low of the day. On the day itself, making lower lows and lower highs. What am I going to look for today? Well, goodness gracious, excuse me. Let's say, my voice just cracked hard. Let's say that I wanted to go long. If I wanted to go long today, what would I really need to see? I would need to see the market go from making lower lows and lower highs and transition into higher highs and higher lows. I want to see that 5-minute chart at least. We've got a higher high up here. Maybe we're going to peak formation low. It's still 8:23 in the morning. We got some time. Make a higher high, pull back, and then we get the follow through back towards the high of the week. That could be an option. Option 2, we've been in a down moving market. We've been in breakout to the downside for weeks. Okay, we closed in breakout last week, and we've got 2 days now of up close. Here's my peak formation. Here's my breakout. Here's my breakout possibly failing. Are we going back for the money? Is this a trend continuation on a daily scale? That's my only 2 options. It's day 3 of the week and also day 3 of the cycle. Okay, hopefully that was... Yep, we have lower low, possible P and D. Absolutely. Additionally, let's say I don't want to get wrapped up in the trade has to come today. If it's not perfect, I'm not going to take it. But what if there's an evolution of the template that, like Sam, like you just said, we have maybe a lower low or whatever. What if today's the first red day? Like, I don't get a trade today. Today just looked like garbage. And then maybe waiting on the backside. Exactly. What if we're waiting on the backside of the week? We look for a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like today, the front side was the pump up. Today was first red day. Maybe tomorrow's like breakout day 1 or something like that. Maybe we even get a trade off of that. I don't know. And then Friday is the big move back down to and through the low. You know, I try to think ahead. It's chess, not checkers. You don't really have to outthink it or anything like that by any means. Just know that it doesn't have to come on the front side of the week. It could come on the back side. Excuse me. Sorry, I keep coughing. That's probably really annoying. It's annoying for me too. Morning to you. All right, we got one pair done in 26 minutes. We got to pop along here. Bless you. It was actually a cough, but thanks. All right, so very similar. US 30 had a first green day on Monday. Yesterday, the behavior was a little different. We got the long trade, but we didn't break out and close. It was just a narrow range inside day. All right, here we go. Okay, so we got day 1 of the cycle. Day 2 of the cycle has now presented as an inside day instead of a breakout close or first red or anything like that. And now today, I am just watching the levels. I'm going to watch the previous day's close. I'm going to watch the previous day's high and low of the current day. You know, what is price action doing on the day? What are my variants? What are my potentials? Day 1 of the cycle. Day 2 of the cycle is an inside bar. Day 3 of the cycle is either going to trend or reverse. This is either a pump up for a dump back down, or we trigger previous day's low, and we're going back towards the high. Holy cow. What a time to be alive. All right, let's go to the Russell. In fact, we'll go to oil. Yeah, this looks good. I like this. Let me zoom out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, Monday. We've been in an up-moving market, breaking out, and breaking out. All right, Monday triggered the previous day's low, and so did Friday. And then we get the breakout close on Monday. Okay, yesterday they pumped it back up, triggered the previous day's high, and closed as a, all of you should be jumping out of your chair, first red day. Okay, so we've got a first red day. Good stuff, Sam. Okay, first red day here. And then now today, they've triggered the previous day's low, which means they're making lower lows and lower highs, pumped it back up. This looked like a, when did you say sold or, oh, in London, nice. This is coming into the gap time, but this is actually really perfect for anybody who's, you know, maybe confused about what type of templates, what, you keep saying it's a template, Cam. You know, what template do you look for? Well, this is one of them, all right? One of them could be breakout like this and then pull back. The way that this is pulled back, right? This is the bottom of my box becomes the top of my box. They broke out, they've pulled back, and then I would look for the continuation. I appreciate that, Julio. I'm on the back side of it, though. If you would have saw me yesterday, I wouldn't even be having this conversation. You'd be like, oh, man, this guy's, how is he even doing this live stream? I wouldn't be. I'm a lot better today. Thank you, though. All right, first red day. So today, now, they've already kind of started the trade, which is great. So what would I be looking for now? Maybe nothing at this point, unfortunately, because they've already kind of started the move. We got a lot of room to go, but I don't want to chase, okay? Basically, what I would have to do is look for lower lows and lower highs. I don't want to see them do that too much because, you know, that's basically them failing to go lower. But if they were to break down and maybe pull back and give me that low-hanging fruit, all right, that would be good. Otherwise, I will just wait and be patient, and maybe the template will evolve. However, I really like the template on oil at the very least. It's nice to see pretty templates. All right, and I'll just recap that. I think a few more people joined in. We had a day 1 of the 3-day cycle down here, or at the very least, a breakout close, a large pumping day. A day that opened, attempted to go higher, failed to do so, and closed below the opening price for that day, first red day. On the new day, lower low, lower high, and now we're going down. All right, that's good. That's what I like to see. All right, gold. Okay, gold, the moment I pull this up, we've been going higher, higher, higher. We've been in lift-off mode. Breakout, breakout, breakout. 2, 3, at least 3 weeks. 4 weeks. All right, we broke out this week as well, 4 weeks higher. So I'm going to say some words, and I want extreme caution, obviously. Again, you know, we'll just throw this up here real quick. Not advice ever, just... We're in breakout to the upside is what I'm saying. All right, we're in breakout to the upside strongly. This is a very strong moving market to one direction. And Monday has rallied once again. We had a very strong breakout day. They did not trigger previous day's low. We're just in breakout to the upside, so we have no lower low. The day opened, traded through the previous day's high, and then closed below the open for the day. So this is technically a first red day. Okay, technically a first red day. We don't have the lower low down here. We don't really have much of anything other than the pattern being pump up, trade through the high, first red day, and then whatever today gives us. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. Could it present? Sure, something to look for. But I'm going to be very cautious of this because this does seem to be very strong moving. We're at the very beginning of a new month as well, which means that this week probably has non-farm. I have to go back and look at the schedule, which is usually going to be a week to just try and make it to Friday anyways. Okay. Just to reiterate one last time, no lower low, strong up moving market. Breakout close, failed to go higher first red day. I should have put that up there. My B. And then today, looking for a sell high opportunity if it were to present. However, because of how strong this has been going up, extreme caution. Don't want to get caught in the parabolic continuation to go higher. All right. Tariff news later as well. What time? I'm getting sick and tired of, we've got 1 o'clock news talking at crazy late. Yeah, we do have non-farm this week. All right. Silver. So silver looks a little different. A lot different. Conditions are a little different. Nice. All right, we got one day. What was this, Monday? So we traded a low on Monday. We've been going up, trade low on Monday, and then we get the pump up, dump back down on a Tuesday. Triggered again, did not go any lower. All right, so that's great. That's all fine. I'll point out that I think this was also in breakout going higher. We have been, right, breaking out to go higher. Last week was a failed breakout week, failed to go higher, and then we triggered the low. So now I guess we're going to go and see if we can go lower. So day one of the cycle, Monday. Day two of the cycle, not an inside day, but a down close day. Day three of the cycle has put in peak formation low, level 1, level 2, level 3. Are we going to try and go lower? Is this one of the templates? Maybe. I'd like to wait and see. I also don't really like to trade silver that much, but so we got a first red. Yeah, the first red day. I think you said this, didn't you? Yeah, Abdullah. First red day came on Friday. Large pumping day. First red day on Friday. Monday got the follow through. Tuesday got the follow through. Still no breakout close down though. We'll have to wait and see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. I hope you all have enjoyed the stream at least, and this has helped your thought process. That's why I do these streams, is to really fortify, I hope, the morning process for everybody, because the way that I do this with you all is exactly how it goes and plays through in my mind. As I'm looking at, I only look at a certain number of pairs per day, and this is exactly how I do it. There's no anything fancy to it. just look at everything and use the information in order to, do what I'm doing right here. Can we get a tour of the new house? Maybe. You can kind of see the background here. It's pretty nice. Very blessed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic day and a great rest of your week. I'll see you all Friday, 8 a.m. Ready to trade. Do I post my entries on Discord? Yep. All right, you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.